As a child, my first love wasn't art because I didn't know what it was. But I knew I loved being outside. I knew I loved playing in the soil. I knew I loved the plants and the trees and the birds and the animals. To me, that was my first studio, my first art classroom. When I finally began to paint with the actual earth, I felt like things came full circle, and I had found this place I could probably call home. I'm John Moore, better known as Jahni the artist, and I am here on the campus of the University of Alabama, having done a red clay portrait of Jefferson Davis Jackson. The process for the red clay painting is I collected clay from the campus of the University of Alabama, and I added in a little clay from here all the way up to the top of Alabama in limestone. I guess it's sort of an alchemical process where I grind the clay in an old-fashioned with a mortar and pestle, and then I put different thicknesses of clay in a container that has different vials, and with that I use water that I actually pour from the Warrior River, and then I begin to lay out the figure, building it up slowly. It's like painting in 2D to some extent, but also it feels like I'm actually painting with a living substance. And take that mixed with playing in the mud feeling of a child, it's a joy to do. And to take the clay from the earth and raise it up to a position of prominence is almost like resurrecting, or clay representing the blood of our ancestors, resurrecting that and putting it back into work at a museum like this. What impacted me about his story, number one, was the irony of his name. You know, having a black man named Jefferson Davis, and then a very black name like Jackson on the end of that. But the fact that he started working at the university when he was 11 years old, and continued for 66 more years or 65 more years, and that his history was kind of reduced to background figures to other people who were doing the work. It sort of reminds me of the same when you look at the paintings of the quote-unquote old masters, Dutch, European, how the figures of color always primarily were in the background or subservient. And what my goal is in this piece is to bring those figures back into prominence and restore them to their rightful place that will serve as a connection to the past, but also a bridge to the future.